I didn't even realize I was a people pleaser. Not really. I just thought I was being nice.
Every text, every decision had to be filtered through their feelings, not mine. They got the smile, I got the silence, and still I thought that was love. But healing started with a mirror and a question. What do I need? Now? I pause, and because I'm listening to me first. And this time, I'm not abandoning her again.
Woo! And that was me. Welcome to Soul, Style, and Shenanigans. My name is Eli, your new best friend, and today I am talking to recovering people pleasers. So if anything in that video hit home from you, or you felt like, maybe I do be people pleasing, sit down, take a seat. We about to talk about it. Now, here's the thing. I understand everyone has their different journeys, everyone grows different, and everybody's going through their own thing. But the biggest part when it comes to healing and growing is your awareness. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. Either you're going to grow or you're going to willfully be unaware. So let me make you aware of something. As a recovering people pleaser, it is absolutely okay for you to pause when making decisions. Not because you're trying to be slow, not because you're trying to be difficult, but you're trying to make sure that the decision is coming from you and not fear, not guilt, or obligation. One thing you have to remember is over time, you've trained your body, you've trained your nervous system to filter decisions through other people's feelings. So when you become aware that this is what you have been doing, now you have to reprogram your body to filter feelings through what you want. And that takes time. And this is why sometimes the pause is needed until you start to learn to trust that these decisions that you are making are authentically you and not based in fear, not based in obligation or guilt, because those are the main things that drive a people pleaser to make decisions. You're scared, you feel bad, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or you feel obligated to do whatever is being asked of you. So you put what you want aside to fulfill what someone else wants. And when you are trying to undo that, and now you are in the recovering, or you have become aware that you now are a people pleaser, now you have to retrain your body to not respond in that way. And that takes time. You can't instantly go from people pleasing to not being a people pleaser. There's no space. You have to retrain your subconscious. You have to retrain your nervous system. You have to retrain your body to respond to what you actually want, what your truth is, what your authentic self is. So don't ever let the pause make you feel like you're doing something wrong. The pause, until you learn to trust yourself, is actually necessary. So the pause is not weakness. If you are a recovering people pleaser and you find yourself faced with decisions and you see or you feel yourself pause, don't ever look at it as weakness. Congratulate yourself that you are aware enough to catch yourself and pause while making the decision instead of just responding like you would normally do, because your instincts will want you to respond in a way that is people pleasing because that is what you are accustomed to. So when you find yourself in the pause, congratulate yourself because your awareness is heightened enough to know that I need to pause. My body is learning to trust itself. I am learning to trust myself. I need to pause. It's not weakness. It is you aligning with your authenticity. Now, let's talk about how this can show up in relationships, because although you were a people pleaser and you're recovering, you pausing and your late reactions can affect people in your life, and especially when it comes to relationships. So how this can show up, it can look like hesitation. It can look like being difficult. It can look like sending mixed signals, but that is where your awareness comes in, because you are aware that sometimes you are going to need a pause when it comes to making decisions in relationships. Sometimes people expect you to act, and because you are a recovering people pleaser, you might not always be able to react instantly because you want to learn to trust yourself. Am I doing this authentically, or am I doing this because I feel like I have to, or I'm scared if I don't do it, what's going to happen? What's the consequences? This is where you have to communicate to your partner, to your friends, to your family. Sometimes I'm going to pause. And that is okay to say that. You have to get comfortable with letting people know where you are. Why? Because you are recovering. You are relearning to trust yourself. You are reprogramming yourself, essentially. Now, a lot of us are undoing years of people pleasing. So understand, clarity will take time. Why? Because you might have a decision and you actually might know what you want to do, but because you've programmed yourself for years, you still will be hesitant in making that decision because it feels uncomfortable. Let's be honest. It feels uncomfortable. You do not want to hurt people's feelings. You care about people. You want to make everybody feel comfortable, but you've trained yourself to make everyone else feel comfortable while leaving yourself uncomfortable. So even though you might know what you want to do right away, clarity takes time. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to give yourself grace. Now, hold on, because I know some people are going to say, now, isn't this just an excuse to avoid making decisions? And they have a very valid point, because anything can become a crutch if you let it, right? So as a recovering people pleaser, you also still have to own your decision making process. And you can say something like, if someone says it feels like you're being unclear, you can say things like, I'm just taking time in my decision making to make sure that my decision is based in truth and not fear and not guilt and not obligation. And that is okay. So if you've been thinking about something for weeks and months, you have enough information that you need to make an informed decision. Clarity doesn't come from thinking about something over and over. Taking action does. But what you're doing is you're just pausing to make sure that the action that you take is actually aligned with what you want and not someone else's. At the end of the day, recovering from people pleasing, it just means learning to trust yourself again. So if you're struggling with decision making, it is okay to take your time, but you don't stay stuck. At some point, you have to choose to trust yourself. That is why you are in recovery. I want to hear from you. Have you struggled with making decisions because of people pleasing? How do you handle it? What does it feel like when you have to go against yourself? Comment below. Listen, everyone struggles with something, but when you become aware, it's the awareness that changes the game. Now that you are aware that sometimes you are going to need the pause, and the pause is not about mixed signals, hesitations, being difficult. The pause is about you trusting yourself. Again, my name is Eli, your new best friend. Comment below. Let me know what you've been going through, if you were a recovering people pleaser, if you will just realize you were a people pleaser. And again, welcome to Soul, Style, and Shenanigans. I appreciate y'all staying and listening. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all soon.